financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is Chapter 13, Save Your Home, Eliminate Your Debt, Have a Great Life. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality. Thanks for listening. You don't like that?
No.
Producer's shaking his head. Want me to start over?
Yeah.
Can we go? You can keep going. This was a little play on humor. Brian Small, good morning.
It was very little humor. Good morning.
Joe Fasad.
Good morning.
Dave, was that funny or not? Well,
Dave.
Don't answer, Dave, because if you answer under the union, we got to pay you. Go ahead, Dave. Don't say a word.
No.
Okay. I remember that from the Johnny Carson show. I never knew if it was true. Okay. Credit card debt's over $1 trillion. Everybody's talking about it. You're seeing it all the time in the news and everything else. Things we know. If your income stays stable, your cash you will not pay for as many items with the inflation rates.
Even though the Fed thinks even though it's down to about 4%, everybody's still suffering from the fact that it was up at 9-10%.
And even then, these are the truisms that we know about the financial industry. Inflation flattens out. Credit card interest went from average rates of 14.1 to 23 and 24%. How long do you think it's going to take for them to drop the rates back down to 14%, even if we get back down to 3% inflation?
You know what?
I will
I
not
have the
live
answer.
for that day. I will not be here. At 69, I will, and I'm going to live a long life. I hope, knock on wood. I won't see the day.
I was just going to say it will happen just as quickly as the price of automobiles will come down when interest rates drop back down.
Right.
Oh, wait, interest rates are going to drop, but the price of automobiles is never going to drop.
The reality on inflation is once something goes up, it then stops going up as fast, but it rarely goes down.
Eggs.
Very rarely.
Sticky.
Eggs
They
came
did go
back
down,
down.
yeah.
Well, food is more food, and actually there's two exceptions to that. Food, oil, 3 exceptions, and the whole construction industry. What about lumber? Lumber went up to skyrocketed post-COVID and then came back down. But that was as a result of the COVID stopping and then the starting up of the industry. All right, so Chapter 13. Things that we know. Lenders are not going to reduce rates. Interest rates are high. What's the goal? The goal is the 3-point retirement plan. Your goal should be, and you have to prioritize the goal. If you're 45, 35, 50, you're not thinking that every day about retiring at 65 or 70. Trust me, I was that age, I remember. But if you can be smart enough to think about the 3-point retirement plan, which is own your home free and clear, have 0 debt, and have some savings in the bank at the point of retirement, you will be a happy camper. Let me tell you the other truism that goes with this. When you're 35, 40, 45, and 50, you're not thinking about it every day. Trust me, when you hit 65, you're thinking about it every hour.
Joe,
And if
let
you
me
did
ask you a
something
question.
about it when you were 50, you're going to be okay.
So you do a whole lot of elder law and estate planning. When your clients come in, how many of them are owning their own house free and clear? How many of them are still carrying a mortgage past 65, 70 years old?
I'd say most of the elderly ones do own free and clear, and just their generation, that's how they ran things a lot of the time. But then you see some people who are not 75, they're maybe 50, and they're not going to be there at their current trajectory. They're not going to be paid off their house. They're not going to have their.
I watch a lot of, I like YouTubes. And I'll put YouTube on, and then you do a search, and I go retirement planning and so forth. And they have a lot of stories on that where I see a lot of these financial guys, and what they're talking about is exactly the idea of how important it is to own your home free and clear at retirement. And what they're saying is a lot of people do, but they're seeing an increasing number that don't.
Definitely.
I know it's fatal. It's not just own your own free and clear. Because you don't want to be in an apartment renting, and you don't want to be paying a mortgage, you don't want to be paying car payments, and you don't want to be paying credit card debt.
Because you're on a fixed income, and apartment rents,
And it's a low income.
you know, they used to just go up a little incremental bit every year, but you had, during the COVID epidemic, you had apartment rents going up 25% a year.
My father never was a saver. He gets to retirement age, can't work at all, because he's in late 80s. Before that, he used to be our runner for filing. He'd do our running. He had rent, he had a car payment, he had credit card payments. His VA benefit plus Social Security came to about $2,800 a month.
Yeah.
That's net of Medicare. If he didn't have rent, and he didn't have a car payment, and he didn't have credit cards, he could have gotten by on $2,800 a month. That would have covered his food and
Right,
transportation.
because if the house is paid for, now you're just paying for property taxes and insurance.
Correct.
And that's what we do see. If they're renting, there's usually nothing at all that they have really. I mean, as far as savings or anything, they've
Yeah.
just never accumulated any wealth.
And that lesson was vivid to me. And that's part of that went into the 3-point retirement plan. And I'm telling you, we've been talking about it for 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have clients that are my age, contemporaries of mine, that bought into it early on, and they're calling me up and they're saying, "I'm so glad I did that," because all of a sudden, if you get to the point, let's suppose you're still working at 65.
And a lot
I'm
of
working
people
at
are.
69. I don't have any desire to retire. But I'm telling you how easy life is when your overhead is zip. When your overhead is zip. When your overhead is food, taxes on your house, insurance, and that's it.
Electric, gas, regular stuff.
Yeah, life becomes easy. That's covered by Social Security. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
I was married for 57 years before my husband died.
Simasco Law had established a trust for them before this happened.
There's so much to do in the beginning, but after about a month, you're kind of alone.
We deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
If you continue to have good support and know that your finances and your estate is in order, that's one thing that's so comforting. I would just highly recommend Simasco Law.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress.
Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're back. Let's do a case study.
All right.
Ron and Sandy, 9 months behind on their house payment, $80,000 in credit card debt, $20,000 in medical bills, $20,000 in back taxes. 2019, they owe 20 grand. They're facing foreclosure. The house is going to go to sale 6 weeks from Tuesday.
Okay.
First of all, this is not Ron and Sandy are not bad people. They're not unusual people. They have a financial problem.
And I'm going to tell you something right now.
And it's not uncommon.
This financial problem is an everyday occurrence. It is not unusual. This has unfortunately become a normal problem that can still be fixed.
And it's going to grow right now because of all the COVID money is gone, credit cards are up, interest is up, inflation's up. It's all peaking.
And on top of that, so they want to save their house. They're behind. And fortunately, they're going to have the ability to do that. But the reality is a lot of people have too much equity in their home today to file a Chapter 7, even if they were just trying to get rid of their credit card debt, medical bills, and back taxes. Let's say they were current on their home. So the reality is Chapter 13 is becoming a much more viable solution for everybody, regardless of whether you're a homeowner or not.
Okay, all right, so let's throw their monthly budget up on the screen. Okay, they got their net after-tax dollars on income to spend $76.50 a month. Mortgage payments $3,000. They're paying $750 a month on their back taxes, $2,000 on their credit cards, $450 on their medical bills. Then they have all the other regular expenses, utility, car payments, and so forth. Right now, they're running $27.50 a month in the hole. If we were able to get rid of the back taxes, the credit card bills, and the medical bills, they would shift to $750 a month positive. Can you make that happen, Mr. Brian Small, bankruptcy guru who has no hair? Just so that people that are watching know that that's Brian, this is Ken, and Joe. We have hair. The difference between Joe and I is about 40 years.
Right. See, Joe's a young man, and you're an old man.
We got it all clear, okay? So if I pick on you, I pick on me, and you pick on me, and we're all even. Okay.
Yes, we can
13,
save their home.
How does it stop foreclosure?
Okay, so the filing of a bankruptcy, whether it's a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13, actually stops all collection action. And a foreclosure is an attempt to collect. So it's called the automatic stay. It stops the creditor from acting without permission of the bankruptcy court to go forward. So
what's the key there?
Filing the case before the foreclosure.
What if you just file it the day after the foreclosure? I'm sorry I was out of town, I was late.
So the filing of a Chapter 13 to stop a foreclosure the day after a foreclosure didn't stop the foreclosure. It has to be before the sheriff's sale occurs.
What if I was sick and in the hospital?
Doesn't matter.
What if the computer didn't work so you couldn't file it electronically?
That doesn't matter either. You have to have enough time.
Give me the one excuse that works. Government power outage. Electrical failure of the grid.
No. They will absolutely make sure that the bankruptcy court will allow for the hand filing of petitions.
So
It's happened
the bottom line is it must be filed before the sale.
That is 100% correct.
Your preference would be that people do not wait to the day before the sale?
The preference would be that the people don't wait till the day of the sale, because that could hit. What if we had a power outage and we couldn't hit enter on the computer? We do file cases the day before the sale because we have time. We prefer that people come in much earlier, and the reason we prefer that is two reasons. One, we have time to put together a true plan of reorganization for the client. And second of all, if it's early enough, when you start to face the fact that you're falling behind on your mortgage, there are non-bankruptcy solutions that are available out there, including loan modifications that we could seek on your behalf. Sometimes, if you hit the problem early enough, a bankruptcy isn't necessary.
I think that's a really important point. It's like, if you already know if you're 3 months behind on your mortgage, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah, and a foreclosure is going to happen.
You know, it's going to happen, and all you're doing is waiting for time. So you do nothing. You wait. You get the foreclosure notice posted on your door, and now you see that you have 5 weeks before the sale. Now the clock is ticking like a bomb for you. Get in to see somebody right away. But if people sometimes wait till 3 weeks to 2 weeks. If you wait to 2 weeks or 1 week, it's not too late. But the smart play, like what Brian's saying, is if you know you're in trouble, come in. The earlier we intervene, the greater the potential for other options we have to a solution. Maybe we can get you a loan modification. Maybe that's not what you need, because maybe you're still got 100, like this couple, you got $120,000 of credit card debt or $80,000 of credit card debt. We want to get rid of that too. But the sooner you address the problem, the sooner you solve it. That's the key.
100% correct.
Okay. So that's to stop the foreclosure. How do you decide that Chapter 13 works, and how much do they have to pay back on the credit card debt?
So how do we decide? We do an analysis of their income and expenses. We figure out what it is that they can afford after they pay all of their regular household expenses, the mortgage, the electric, the gas, buy
so
groceries.
We kind of did this with this couple, and I'm saying it's about $750.
And $750 would, for if they're above.
How does that work with the house?
Well, we take the arrearage on the house, we divide it by 60.
All right, so I'm behind 9 months, $3,000 a month. That's $27,000 I'm behind.
Right, so it's
60
about
months.
$450 a month.
So is that $450 of the $750
It
goes
is
to that?
$450 of the $750.
Okay, so what happens to the other $300?
Some of it's used to pay your attorney's fees, some of it's used to pay the trustee fees, and some of it goes to Visa and MasterCard and the medical bills and the back taxes.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to know the big question. How much is Visa and MasterCard going to get on their $80,000 that they're owed? We'll be back after the break.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. Oh, and I announced THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Pat was recommended by a friend who insisted that we really needed a trust. And he said, I know somebody who will do a good job for you.
At Simasko Law, we deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
We had excellent service from Simasko Law. Any questions we had were addressed. Our estate is in order and it had been set up so well that nothing needed to be done. I would just highly recommend Simasko Law.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
When we came to the break, I asked you the suspenseful question of, they owe $80,000 in credit card debt. We're going to take $450 a month of that $750 to catch up on the mortgage over 60 months.
Right.
How much of that remaining $300 is going to go to Visa and MasterCard?
Well, the reality is as little as humanly possible. So if there's $300 a month, there's $18,000 available over 60 months. It's going to pay attorney's fees, so you don't have to come out of pocket.
Do you see this ball that I'm holding?
Are you going to let me answer the question?
I'm just going to give you a warning. Are you a good catcher?
No.
Because if I don't get a specific number of how much we're going to pay back Visa and MasterCard, I'm going to throw this ball at you very hard in 10 seconds. Go!
Okay. They get nothing.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Or as close to nothing as is humanly possible.
Isn't that from a movie that you love?
It is.
Chocolate Tree or something?
Oh my God. The movie is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I knew it had to do with a chocolate tree.
It's, you get
a chocolate
nothing.
a chocolate factory, not a chocolate tree.
You get nothing. Good day, sir. That's the line of the movie. But the reality is
It was
that
after my time.
we can structure a Chapter 13 to pay what's the most important debt first and pay the least important debt as little as
Which is Visa, MasterCard.
Visa, MasterCard, medical bills, even dischargeable taxes to the IRS that are old enough to wipe out.
All right, big questions that every client wants to know. What about my credit score?
What about it?
If I file this bankruptcy, what's going to happen to my credit score?
It's going to go up. It's going to
Everyone, when I watch the news and I watch TV shows, they say it's going to go down.
Well, temporarily. But your credit
It's
score
probably already down.
is already down because you've got so much debt. When you file the bankruptcy, it may temporarily go a little bit lower, but at the end of the day, you've eliminated your debt. The
It goes way up.
sky's the limit. And within 18 months to 30 months, depending on how quickly you redevelop your score can be back up in the mid 700s without a problem.
Yeah, and I want to actually add to that. If at the time you're filing the bankruptcy, you're already missing credit card payments and behind, and you're already not like this couple, you're 9 months behind on your mortgage. Your credit score's already tanked about as low as it's going to go.
250 point hit for your mortgage payments.
Because it's only you only have that issue if you've never been late on a payment and then you're still doing something. Then the credit score is going to go down, but it'll still go up. Credit score. What do you always say?
Credit scores heal.
Recover.
Well, they heal.
Okay. All right. Will I ever be able to get a credit card again?
Probably a week and a half after you file bankruptcy, to be honest.
It's not hard.
No, it's not hard. So you want a credit card for an emergency, whatever. You can, even when you're in a Chapter 13, you can get what's called a secured credit card, which will help you redevelop your credit. You want a $500 line of credit, you save $500, you give it to the bank. They hold your money and they give you a $500 line of credit. At the end of the year, they raise your line of credit, but they don't ask you for more money.
Can I ever get a car loan again?
In Chapter 13, I've got plenty of places that'll lend to you while you're still in bankruptcy, no less when your bankruptcy is done.
And what about a home loan?
Mortgages are a little bit tricky. So,
but if I'm in a Chapter 13 to save my house, I already have a house.
Right.
I don't need a home loan.
So if you are trying to if you want to sell your house and buy a new one, likelihood you're going to have to wait until your Chapter 13 is over. But usually, once you've been in a Chapter 13 for a length of time, and it's over and you've completed and gotten a discharge, you can get a new mortgage through HUD, FHA, VA without too much difficulty.
Final word for this show, and I'm going to use it more often. This is a new word for our show. Points. The word is points. What does it mean? We talk a lot about credit cards. Credit cards are good for one thing only: points. Paying the bill in full every month, getting points to buy things for free. When the credit card companies start giving you money rather than taking your money, that's a good thing. And that happens when you accumulate points.
Otherwise, credit cards are terrible. You shouldn't have them. And if you got debt, you should get rid of it. Period.
But points at the expense of paying interest, bad. Points that are free because you paid it in full. Have a great week. We'll be back next week.